The house was unusually quiet that morning. The kind of silence that doesn't bring peace, but heaviness. Sunlight filtered through the half-open curtains, landing softly on the wooden dining table where a single cup of tea sat, untouched, slowly getting cold. Rohan looked at it, then at the empty chair opposite him, his father's chair. Every morning for the past 20 years, that chair had been occupied by his father, Mr. Shyamlan Verma, a retired school teacher with a calm voice and endless patience. But today, it stood empty, and that emptiness echoed louder than any sound. Rohan was a successful software engineer in Mumbai. His days were filled with meetings, presentations, deadlines, everything that screamed important. Yet in that success, he had lost something: time. He hadn't sat with his father properly in months. Even though they lived in the same house, their conversations had become mechanical. Papa, breakfast is ready. I'm leaving for office. Okay, beta, take care. That was it, every day. And every evening when Rohan came home tired, his father would be waiting, tea ready, news channel running softly, a hopeful smile on his face. How was your day, beta? Tiring, Papa. I'll talk later. Later. That word had become a habit and a lie.
One night, Rohan returned late again. His father was asleep in the living room chair, television flickering softly. Rohan walked past him quietly, annoyed. Why does he keep waiting for me? Doesn't he understand how busy I am? He murmured to himself. He didn't notice the faint smile on his father's face, a smile that came from seeing his son home safe. The next morning, his father had made tea for both of them, as always. Rohan, sit for 5 minutes, he said gently. Papa, not today. I have a call. Just 1 cup of tea. I'm already late, Papa. Please. His father didn't insist. He simply smiled and said, Okay, beta. We'll have tea tomorrow. That tomorrow never came. It was a Wednesday afternoon when Rohan received a call from the neighbor while at work. Rohan beta, your father fainted. We are taking him to the hospital. His phone almost slipped from his hand. Within minutes, he was in a cab, heart pounding, every traffic light feeling like a punishment. He reached the hospital to find his father unconscious, oxygen mask over his face. The doctor said it was a heart attack, a massive one. Rohan stood frozen. His mind replayed every time he had ignored his father's tea. Every time he had said, Not now. For 2 days he stayed by his father's side. Machines beeped rhythmically, like a countdown. When his father opened his eyes faintly, Rohan rushed forward. Papa, I'm here. Beta. His voice was weak but calm. Did you eat something? Papa, please don't talk. You'll be fine. I just wanted to say, thank you. You've made me proud. Tears rolled down Rohan's cheeks. Papa, don't say that. I wasn't there for you when you needed me. You were busy, living your life. That's good, but Rohan? He took a deep breath, his eyes glistening. Promise me, from now on, take 5 minutes every morning. Sit with someone you love and share a cup of tea. Life doesn't always wait for later. Those were his last words.
The next morning, the same cup of tea sat on the table, untouched. Only this time, it wasn't waiting for his father. It was Rohan's turn to sit in silence. He looked around the room, the books his father had read, the glasses left on the newspaper, the old radio that played his favorite ghazals. Every object seemed alive with memories. He poured a cup of tea for himself, hands trembling. As he took the first sip, he whispered, I'm sorry, Papa. The tea tasted like regret and love mixed together. Days turned into weeks. The house remained quiet, but Rohan's heart had changed. He began waking up early, like his father used to. He'd make 2 cups of tea every morning,
one for himself and one he'd place on the opposite side of the table. He'd look at it and smile faintly. "Good morning, Papa." It became a ritual, not out of sadness, but remembrance. He started noticing things he'd ignored earlier: the chirping of birds, the smell of wet soil, the calmness of early mornings. He started visiting the old age home nearby, serving tea and talking to elders who had no one. One of them, a kind lady, once asked, "Beta, why do you come here every morning?" He smiled. "Because I missed too many mornings once. Now, I don't want to miss any more." One evening, while cleaning his father's cupboard, he found an old letter, neatly folded and yellowed with time. It was addressed to him. He sat down and opened it slowly. "Dear Rohan, I know you're busy, and that's good. You're building your life, your dreams. But remember, the simplest things, a smile, a conversation, a cup of tea, those are what make life truly rich. One day when I'm not around, I hope you'll still find time to sit and have tea, not alone, but with those who matter. Because happiness doesn't come from success, it comes from togetherness. With love, Papa." Rohan couldn't stop crying. He held the letter close to his chest and whispered, "You're still teaching me, Papa." Years later, Rohan was now a father himself. His son, Arav, a busy college student, often rushed through breakfast. One morning, Rohan stopped him. "Arav, sit, just for 5 minutes. Let's have tea." "Dad, I'm late." "Just 1 cup, that's all I ask." Arav sighed, sat down reluctantly, and smiled. "Okay, Dad, 1 cup." They sat together, laughing, sharing random stories. Just 5 minutes. But for Rohan, it felt like a lifetime. He looked up briefly, imagining his father's smile somewhere beyond the sunlight, and whispered in his heart, "See, Papa, I kept my promise." Life doesn't always give you tomorrow. The people you love, parents, friends, family, they won't always wait for later. Sometimes a 5-minute conversation, a small cup of tea, a shared laugh, that's what love really means. Don't wait for time to teach you with loss. Give time while you still can, because one day, even a simple cup of tea can hold a lifetime of memories.